job hunting is daunting. It is a very daunting process. Before the pandemic, it was daunting. Now it's even worse, and there's more people in the market than there are jobs available. It's always been that way. It's even worse now. So whilst there are loads of materials out there to teach people on how to nail interviews and all of that, I don't know that there is enough that really talks about how you guide yourself, how you protect yourself whilst you're on the hunt. So that's what I want to focus on today. And my name is Auntie O, and I talk about real life issues, those abandoned issues that we don't always bring to the forefront. I want to address those issues, and this is one of them. So I've titled this "And Protecting Your Sanity Whilst You Job Hunt." So these are some of the things that I do, some of the ways that I protect myself whilst I job hunt. So one of the things, contrary to general advice, is apply selectively. What do I mean by that is I believe that I should apply for roles where I stand a chance. So when you look at a role, just have a quick glance. Don't read it too much, but have a quick glance. There's always the essentials, the absolute must. You must have this, otherwise don't apply. I personally, once I see that, I know that there are theories, if you meet 60%, that's fine. But there are no-go areas that I think that, there's no point wasting your time. So personally, I apply selectively. I would look at the job, even if it has things that I don't look at the job description so much, because I feel that, even if you've not done every single thing on the job description, you would be able to do it when you actually get there. The most important thing I look at are the absolute essentials. You must have, this qualification, that certification. If you don't have it, some people will say apply anyway. I don't, and I'll tell you why. So personally, I don't. The reason I don't apply is if I don't stand a chance, I try to reduce the number of no's that I get. So whether you like it or not, whether you think anything much about it or not, it does start to hit, your confidence. So if I apply for 100 jobs and get 99 no's, because I've applied for a lot of jobs that I wasn't qualified for in the first place, compared to applying for 20 and getting 19 no's. You see, so there is a difference, and every time the no comes back, it does take you that one step, whether you know it or not. It does hit at you. So personally, my advice is to be selective about your application. Where you think it's a no-go, don't waste your time. Don't waste the recruiter's time, because these guys are flipping through loads and loads and loads of CVs anyway, looking out for that thing, that keyword that they've already told you about. So that would be my first point. Secondly, what I'd like to do is, if there is a number on the advert, I would call first. I prefer to apply for jobs where the recruiter is reachable to an extent, because there's been times where I've called up the recruiter, we've had a chat, and between both of us, I just like, it's not worth the while. Maybe the pay is not anywhere near where I want it to be, or the job is in some distant location somewhere. It could just be for reasons that they haven't really stated out there. Why I call first is that some of this, if it's an easy application where you just throw a CV across, maybe, that's fine. But some of these things involve you filling a whole form. I don't want to fill a whole form before realizing that, this pay, the take home is not going to take me home, So, and a lot of jobs these days don't have the pay, so you're just applying blindly. You don't know what you're applying for, and you've gone through the hoops, and then they tell you, actually, that's what we're paying. So personally, I like to call and find out about the budget. What's the budget for the role? What does it entail? Who's the recruiter? Who's the company that has the vacancy? Because you don't always know. And I like to find out first. And another thing that does for you is it establishes a relationship with the recruiter. So sometimes the recruiter now has that person behind the papers, behind the CVs, and they will probably be more inclined to put you forward than someone who just bunged across the CV without a note or without even calling them. So personally, that's something that I think is worth exploring. And then talking about the no's, talking about the rejection letters, the no's that you get, I delete them. Again, that's my approach, especially so that first level rejection, like you send a letter, you send your CV across for a role, and it comes back, nicely worded, it was really competitive this time, but unfortunately, the recruiters or hiring managers are getting more and more creative, but whatever, it's still a no. So I do a quick scan, and as soon as I see unfortunate, delete. That's me. That's the way I cope with it. I don't care about your nice messages. And personally, I prefer not to even get that message because I won't remember. I've applied for 100 jobs. I'm not expecting 100 responses. Personally, I don't want, if you could not even respond at all, that's probably better. But no, people are sending nice messages. Oh, the standards were high. Oh, it was a hard decision and all this crap. And it's still, unfortunately. So personally, I have a quick glance, and once I see that, delete. I don't have any of those emails. I don't keep them. I don't think they're worth keeping. I'm not trying to collect a load of no's. I don't use them for anything. So personally, that's my approach. If you prefer, so some other people prefer to gather all the no's so that when they finally get a job, they say, oh, I applied for 100 jobs and I got this. Some people want to see that, and that is fine. Personally, my approach is just to delete because I can't be bothered. So that's that. Then if, let's say, you get through the first stage, so this is my next point here. If you get through the first stage and you do go for an interview, and in your mind that interview has gone well, just leave it at that for the time until you hear back, because I think sometimes an interview's gone well, no doubt. You've answered all the questions, no doubt. But what we forget is that there are other people in the process, and the interview may have gone well for them, or even better for them. So sometimes we start to dream, I dream of my colleagues, dream of going to work, I'll be taking that train to that train and doing this and doing that, and all the dreams, and you already know what your desk would look like and all of that. I'd say stop. So just leave it at that. Don't hang your hopes, don't dream too much. Let them come back to you, because the fact that an interview went very well from your end, they probably even enjoyed the interview, but then if you were not the only person they were interviewing, who knows? Who knows how these decisions are made? Who knows? So I'd say, manage your expectations. Just take it at face value. It was an interview. There's nothing guaranteed. No one has promised me anything. I'm going to move on. So move on, get busy, get doing something else. Pursue other opportunities. Pursue any available opportunity until you get an offer that you accept. Until then, just act like, what, I've done that, drop it, go somewhere else, look for something else. You keep going until you get that offer, and not just getting the offer, an offer that you actually accept, that's acceptable to yourself, and then you can say, okay, fine, I can start to dream now of what this would look like. So that's the way that's something I've learned recently. So I used to be a dreamer. I think I'm still a dreamer. I dream about the job and my colleagues and all of that, but just learning to be more realistic with these things. And then next, talking about follow-up. So some people follow up right after the interview. Yes, I had a good time. I think that's fine. Maybe clarifying questions or clarifying any answers, that's fine. The follow-up I'm talking about in this video is following up after you haven't heard anything. So some people would interview you today, and in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not a word. That leaves you as a candidate in limbo. So you're not out of the race, but you don't know whether you're still in the race. You haven't been told anything. And while some people would say no news is good news, if I haven't heard anything, then I'd assume they're still considering. I prefer to just follow up and say, hey, we met on this day. I think it went well. What's up? What's happening? Where you guys up to in this stage? I need to know. And I think I need to know because you've taken 1 hour of my time, let's say 1 hour of interview. Forget about the hours I spent preparing for this interview. I need to know, and I need to know as soon as possible, just because I can close that line of inquiry if it's going nowhere, rather than still hoping and thinking, oh, maybe not. So personally, I follow up. If I haven't heard anything for a decent number of days, maximum a week, I'll be going back to you to say, hey, what's up. So follow up, I think it's good. It just makes draw a line under the sand if it's gone, or if it's still there, then understand, okay, when exactly am I going to hear back? What am I But again, like I said in my previous point, I don't stop because I've done the interview. I don't stop even if you tell me, oh yeah, you're still in the race, we're just keep doing everything else, keep looking for something else until you get that offer that you accept. You don't stop looking. And lastly, hang in there. It's daunting, as I said in the start. Just hang in there. It's not you. So when you get a rejection, sometimes we're tempted to take it personal. We're tempted to assume we didn't do enough, but it's not you. I mean, if you were the only person interviewed and they still said no, maybe you then say, oh, maybe I didn't do enough, or I didn't have what they needed. But I don't know how many people. It's almost like a dating site. It's almost like online speed dating interviews these days. So I don't know how many people they're seeing. They're probably seeing 10 people, and there's just one space, one vacancy. So 9 people are going to get a no, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's what it is. There is one space. There is 10 people. 9 people are going to get a no. Does it mean that these 9 people are not good? No. Does it mean that the one person who got in is better than the 9? No. But hey, whoever is making the decision makes the decision based on whatever factors, whatever they see at the time. I have a video, so if it's not out here, subscribe because it will be out here. I've done a catalog, like a work experience catalog, that I think I use it. I love it. It reminds you of the things you've done, and it's structured. It helps you get through interviews. So if it's not there, so look at my videos. If it's not there, subscribe. It's coming because I'm recording that today as well. So thank you very much. Keep your mind intact whilst you job hunt. It's not you, like I said. Hang in there. Soon enough. Thank you.